Welcome back to Autism Live. And so that was the amazing Temple Grant, and we're going to have more videos that we're going to be showing you on a regular basis. And she's going to join us via phone. We'll let you know more about that as well. I asked earlier in the week if there was anybody, because we've been sharing Autism Speaks today. We have another guest from Autism Speaks tomorrow to do an interview. And I asked if anybody wanted to write in and tell us about their experience with Autism Speaks and how it had helped them. And we got this beautiful, it's really a disservice because I'm not going to be able to read the whole thing, but it's a beautifully written letter from a mom who's been on the show before, Carrie Mallory Thompson. And it's just amazing, some of the things that she says, and she is a beautiful writer. And I want to read a little bit of it as we get to the end of the show here, but we're keeping an eye on the time. Okay, so I want to start with the fact that she said I really did. When she was on the show earlier, and she said I really didn't touch upon how Autism Speaks had changed my life. The first time autism was mentioned was at my son's 2-year checkup. When I heard that word, I went numb, thinking to myself, okay, not my son. I immediately made a phone call to a friend of mine whose son has Asperger's. She told me not to do any research and just stay off the internet. She suggested I go to see the doctor that my son's pediatrician recommended and go from there. She said that there was so much information on the internet and that not very much of it was accurate. Therefore, I trusted my friend. I stayed off the internet. That was a very hard thing for me since I am an answer person. I want answers now, not in 60 seconds. I research everything. So again, not researching something this huge was very difficult. Everyone told me he doesn't have autism. He will talk when he is ready. Walking on his toes is cute. Flapping his hands is just him showing he is excited. Do not let them put that label on him. Because, you know, we all get these kinds of advice. And anyway, she says, being the person I am, I wanted to know. So I took my son to the Southwest Human Development, and he saw Dr. Kessler and his team of doctors and therapists. After 3 hours, Dr. Kessler sat me down and gave me the news. He told me that my son was at risk for autism. Because he was so young, they didn't want to give him a diagnosis of autism till he had the opportunity to go through some intensive therapy. So they weren't holding off on the therapy, they were just holding off on the diagnosis. I think that's a really important distinction to make. They didn't say, well, we're going to wait around and see. But in the state of Arizona, at risk is looked at as the same as a diagnosis of autism as far as services provided through the state's early intervention program if the child is under the age of 3 years old. I sat there, again numb, as he proceeded to talk to me about what autism was, what they observed in my son, and what he could be looking at future-wise. Finally, Dr. Kessler finished talking to me and asked me if I had any questions. I only had 2 questions. The entire time I was there, I asked him, is this my fault? What did I do to cause this? Then I broke down in tears, and Dr. Kessler explained to me that it was nothing that I did or didn't do. After lots of tears and several tissues, Connor and I walked out of his office with some literature and a sense of what now? I went home for about 2 days. I avoided life. All I wanted to do was hold my son in the hopes that mommy's hugs would fix him, but knowing that they wouldn't. Finally, I started looking through some of the literature Dr. Kessler had sent me home with, thinking maybe something in there would help me make sense of things. I found lots of websites that Dr. Kessler trusted, lots of agencies such as SAARC and CARD that offer resources. I think I visited all of those websites he recommended and other sites. I was amazed. I think I missed it. I was amazed by their yes, and almost all of them referred to or had a link directing me to Autism Speaks. Eventually, I did click on it, and when I did, I stopped looking at all the other sites. I was amazed by their website. Facts about autism was the first thing I focused on, then research, then family services. I was amazed by all the free toolkits, which we talked about today with Lisa Goring, and the resource guide. So much information. I was instantly enthralled. I signed up for this and and that and that and this. That lasted for 3 days. Then I was right back to being numb again. No knowing how I was going to handle this. I was overwhelmed. All of a sudden, on a Sunday afternoon, my phone rings. I don't normally answer unknown calls, but for some reason I did. Hello, this is Carrie. With much hesitation, I respond. Is this Carrie? With much hesitation, I respond, yes, it is. At that moment, my life changed forever. Hi, Carrie. This is Amy Hummell from Autism Speaks. How are you? Again, with hesitation, I replied, okay. Amy then told me that she was calling to check up on me. She had seen that I had signed up for several things off the Autism Speaks website and wanted to know if I had any questions or if she could help me with anything. She asked how I heard about Autism Speaks, and I told her my story. Amy was an angel at that moment. She helped me to realize that I basically needed to get off my and start getting my son the help he needed. We probably talked for a good half hour, if not longer, and I can honestly say that after that phone call, I was a new person. I was energized, I was motivated, I was eager to find the answers I didn't even know the questions to. Love that. Told you this is a great letter. The very next day, I signed up for the Autism Speaks walk. I had an appointment set up with a representative from the state's Department of Disabilities Early Intervention Program. I had a website started and a Facebook page going. I love, just amazing. I needed support. I needed to know where to go. I needed to hear other people's stories, both good and bad. I needed to stop hiding under a rock. So from the moment Dr. Kessler told me Connor was at risk from autism to the day I woke up, 5 days had passed. 5 days wasted, bless your heart. 5 more days that my son was behind. I was not going to let another 5 days or another minute be wasted. I've said to you before on the show that we all have that period of time, whatever long that it is, and that for some people it's 5 days, for some people it's 5 years, for some people it's longer than that, and there's everything in between. We all lament it. But 5 days, and a lot of us wish that it was only 5 days, right? And that it's only about to approach that in the next month, on February 10th, will be the 1-year anniversary of her child's diagnosis. He has since been diagnosed as autistic and not just as at risk. We have taken place in the Autism Walk, in which we raised over $2,000. Really amazing. She continues to write, I volunteered to be in the Autism Speaks Walk Committee. Connor has endured 3 different types of therapy and just 3 weeks ago started preschool. Very amazing. Connor is still nonverbal but has started to communicate using sign language. Connor is the sweetest, most loving, most caring, most fun, most energetic kid you will ever meet. The thought of where he would be right now if I had not gotten that phone call from Amy Hummell really chokes me up. I'm sure that at some point I probably would have done something to help my son, but that amazing phone call that I received from Amy changed my life. I throw out Autism Speaks' name anywhere and everywhere I go. When I hear people bad talking Autism Speaks, I get extremely defensive and I speak up. When I believe in a cause and it hits this close to home, you can bet that I will back that cause with everything I have. Autism Speaks, their website, their resources, and their Arizona representative, Amy Hummell, all changed my life and helped me to change my son's life. For that, I will be eternally grateful. So grateful, in fact, that on April 1st, the beginning of Autism Awareness Month, I will be getting the Autism Speaks puzzle piece tattoo with my son's name. I look forward to the Arizona Autism Speaks walk this October and participating in the committee, yet again. And then she writes that she watches the show every day and that she's loving the show. And I thank you so much. You were a great guest. And this is great writing, by the way. I hear a book coming. In any case, we are out of time, but what a great thing to end on. We will have another representative from Autism Speaks with us tomorrow. If you have questions, if more of you would like to write in, we love that. Emily's showing you some of the different ways that you can communicate with us because we love to interact with you. We really really do. And this was very, very moving and something that really important for us to hear today. Also want to remind all of you that today is the very last day that you can apply for a grant in this phase from Autism Care and Treatment Today, Act Today, www.act-today.org. Go there, apply for a grant. We had Nancy Alspaugh-Jackson talking about it yesterday. Another grant phase will come, but why not get your paperwork in for one this time? And also want to remind all of you that we'll have a full show tomorrow starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, going till 3 p.m., and then 10 a.m. to noon Pacific Time. So a lot more that we have to cover about compassion, a lot of things to talk about, not the least of which is getting this hair off of my head, shaving it for compassion. We'll be talking more about that with you tomorrow. And we're giving away the cow in the book tomorrow. Go to our Facebook, like it there, and follow the rest of the directions so that you can win the cow or the book signed by Temple Grandin. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, please give your kiddos a hug from me. Bye-bye for now.